Man, we're popping.
Are we live? And we are live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Entrepre-Doers show this morning. We have special guests, Joe and Jessica from the Family Flips. So awesome. Great to have you guys here. Also joined by Nate, Every Day I'm Hustling, one of my superstar
Every day I'm
co-hosts.
hustling.
And Pittsburgh Anthony. Now we need a song for you.
So he's the superstar? Well, he does have the beard, so I guess I'll give him that.
Oh. Destiny's heading in. Oh, she's come on. Come on. We'll be fine. I'll hold it. She lost her head today, so
No, she lost her body. We found her head.
I
Finally.
guess she used Head and Shoulders last night, and that's what's left.
found your head. You'll be okay.
Our head in the wrong direction.
Oh my gosh, that is the funniest thing.
Welcome.
I need my coffee.
Yeah, boss head. Man, oh my goodness. It's like the freaking Matrix over there.
Well, you want to see if you can go find your body while Anthony welcomes everybody
It's
in.
cold in Minnesota.
I'm throwing. Go. You can go find her body.
So, Tommy, who do you think got the brownie points today?
I seen Justin at brownie points with a three-way tie now with Craig, Justin, and Steven. So we're gonna have to do some sort of playoff Monday. I don't know. Maybe we can.
Dude, you could just do a like a random generator between the three of them or something.
I could do that. We'll figure it out. Let me think about it. We'll come up with
Either
it.
that or death match. That always works for me.
Cage match.
Brownie on a pool match.
Well, we should have a brownie eating contest live on Monday, and then whoever can eat the most Little Debbie brownies wins.
That would be awesome.
Monday's live will be sponsored by Little Debbie.
Yeah. Touche. So congratulations, Justin, on bringing up the tie. Good morning to you, Moronic Pest, Steven Scroggins, Matt, BK Vending and Flipping. We have Kelly, the Ecom Mom Ward. We have DC Sales, the master of the license plate. Don Bargain Hunter. What's up, Don? Moronic Pest. I don't know if I said you yet.
You like it?
Lisa C., good morning. Diane Matthews, good morning. Michelle Lathan, good morning. Swamp Picker, what's up, Glenn? Good to see you, bud. Land Shark Picker, what's going on, Craig? Blue Rhino Liquidations. Myra Lane, good morning. Cody Bruh, what's up, man? Good to see you. In it to flip it, what is going on? Old School Picker, what's going on, Larry? D90, what is up? That's everyone right now. If there's anyone else with us, just go ahead and say hello so that we can shout you out and say hello. But yeah, we got our special guest with us today, so I'm excited about it. Finally got Jessica on with us.
Special.
Yeah, we've had Joe on a couple times. This is our first time being able to have Jessica on, so we're really going to spotlight her today.
Yeah,
pretty much everybody here knows Joe already, so we want to hear a lot from Jessica today.
Yep.
I might need more coffee. Hold on.
Why is this? You've got the boss hat on, Destiny, and she's drinking coffee like a boss. I don't know what it is.
Say like a boss.
I don't know what subliminal stuff you're trying to tell us, but
Like a boss.
I don't know.
Oh, I should have brought down my mug that you guys sent me.
Then we got the well, shoot, there's two bosses in here. We can kick back and let the ladies run the show this morning.
Yeah, you go lose your head. I felt a little thin for a while, and then
You lost a lot of weight there.
I sure did. And well,
Feeling a little lightheaded.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the weight came back.
It does for me too every time.
Every time.
But anyway, so we don't, for anybody that doesn't know you guys want to just kind of tell them a little bit, because we do have a few new people in here, just what your background is, a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so we're the Family Flips. I am the funnier one of the two of us.
By far.
Um,
I'm just lame.
I don't know. I seen a video that was uploaded. I believe it was yesterday of some of your outtake clips.
It wasn't funny until I put the clips together and made it funny.
I hated doing those. They were so not me. I wanted to be helpful, but they were grueling. I would get so mad during those things.
So we started our YouTube channel on phone farming, which is essentially using phones to make money passively. And it wasn't a lot of money, but it was good to have something to kind of carry you over while it lasted. It didn't last that long, but we were full-time resellers. I've been doing it for maybe 4 years. He's been doing it longer. He dragged me in.
I sold her this life of freedom, and she took it, and then it sucked for several years.
And then I learned that being an entrepreneur is actually very difficult.
It's a freaking roller coaster.
And yeah. I wasn't given the full picture, I will say. So I actually started off as the unsupportive wife and then became business partner a little bit later.
Yeah, I've let her down a lot over the years. I'm a very optimistic person, very hopeful. I see the best in opportunities.
Well, I like that about you.
But it got us in some troubles.
He just needs a realist business partner that's like, hold on now. That's very likely not going to happen. Can we prepare for the thing that's very likely going to happen, which is going to fall on our butts and not going to make it? Yeah. So, it took a lot. I think it took a lot for me to get to this point. But it's been good. I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change anything.
So what took you from unsupportive to partner? What was the wow moment that said, hey, I gotta get involved here, or I want to be involved, or however it went down?
Well, I think, to be honest, it was my own insecurities. It wasn't really about the business. The business plan is solid. You look at it on paper and you're like, yeah, this makes sense. You know, it is a legitimate business. It makes sense. I think for me, it was more, I very much needed security. I'm the kind of person that thrives in routine and security and knowing when my paycheck is coming. And it's very, very difficult to work and then not actually know how much your paycheck is going to be, or know, like, even if we're getting paid. At this point, when we first started, we weren't making enough to even pay ourselves. We were kind of just skimming off our, sole proprietorship business for a while. And that was scary to me. And it got to this point, I think, where I realized, I don't know if y'all know this yet, but Joe, he's very gung-ho. And when he makes a decision to do something, he's going to do it. And I was like, all right. So it got to this point where I was like, okay, if this is your dream and this is really something that you want to do, let me help you. And that's kind of how the relationship started, where it was like, I'm not going to fight him on this. Like, because even if he were to quit, I realized, like, even if he were to quit, he wouldn't be happy at a 9-to-5 job. He wouldn't be happy in a corporate job. And I don't want to be married to somebody who's miserable all the time. I was like, if this is really your dream, if this is really something that you want to do, I want to have my hands in it. I want to help you do this and make it stable and make it secure. And I mean, that sounds very, very easy. It was not easy. That we fought. Look at him. Do you see him right now? He's like,
It wasn't easy. It sucked.
But no, we had to do a lot of working through things. We saw a marriage counselor who helped us learn how to, because we communicate in two completely different. Sometimes we'll be saying the same thing, but in completely different ways, and we're fighting about that. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? And so when we went to see a marriage counselor, and a lot of people, they want to go to marriage counseling because they're on the verge of divorce. We were never really on the verge of divorce. It was just, we need somebody who is not our friends, who doesn't know us, to sit down, listen to what we're saying, and try to teach us how to talk to each other. And through that, we got to where we are now, which I love where we are now.
We can actually talk and have conversations, and they're productive, and it's quite magical.
Magical.
Yeah. And me and Dessa, we can totally relate, because we can't even say we've been there. I think we're still there. We do have communication problems that time. Shoot, these fellows right here on the path, they witnessed something.
Yeah.
We're still there too. I mean, we still.
It's like, I'm done, but I can't do this no more. But we work through it
every time you're trying to do life with somebody, there's gonna be conflict. And I think that it's not a sign of a healthy marriage that you don't have conflict. It's a sign of a healthy marriage that you can work through it and come out of it together.
Yeah. If there's no conflict, then I have to there should always be conflict, because conflict isn't bad. Like, a lot of people say, well, I have a peaceful marriage, but you never have conflict. Peace is a result of is a side effect of conflict, that you go through a process of disagreement and you come through it on the other side, and you have that peace. Like, you can't really have peace without the lack of some type of inner turmoil, because it's like the two opposing things. Like, you have to choose one.
There is no way that Joe and I, being the people that we are and being true to ourselves, that we're going to agree on everything. For example, even now, we're business partners, we're parents of the same kids, but I really take charge, and my priority is the home. First and foremost, making sure that we have food to eat, making sure that we have meals planned, making sure we have all of those things taken care of. So any decision that I make is going to be heavily, how does it affect our home? How does it make that happen? For him, he is naturally our provider. He is the one that runs most of the business. He's effectively our CEO. So any decision that he makes about something is going to be heavily weighed on how is this going to affect our business and our profitability and our ability to make money. And so when we come to a situation where it's we need to make these appointments, Joe is going to want to do it in a way that is convenient for the business, and I'm going to want to do it in a way that's convenient for the kids. Naturally, that's going to be conflict. It's not because we can't communicate, or it's just because we have different priorities. So it comes down to sitting down and saying, okay, how can we do this in a healthy way, coming through that in the end of it, and becoming closer, because we went through a hard thing together. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It totally makes sense to us. Treasure Hustlers is curious of what your zodiac sign.
I am a Gemini, and he's a Cancer. Twins for the win. Actually, I don't think I used to know a lot about zodiacs. I don't really do that anymore, but I want to say that Geminis and Cancers typically are not compatible. Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know for sure. You may have to.
We do Enneagram. I don't know if you've ever heard of Enneagram, but I'm an Enneagram 1. She's a 3. As far as we do DISC behavioral type stuff too. I'm a dominant style personality. She is a influential predominantly. So we are polar opposites in a lot of ways.
Introvert, extrovert, outward processor, inward processor. We're very different.
Yeah, I'm very fast. She's very slow.
Geminis are cray. Treasure hunt. I know. I am aware. Proud of it.
Yeah, me and Destiny too, where we're complete opposites. I was a city boy, roughneck, party life type person when we got together. She was small town, introvert, quiet, laid back, and I'm I really don't even know how it happened, because we were so far on the polar opposites. It was like,
wait, hold on. We decided we were going to hang out one night as friends, and we left dating, and we still on our first date.
Yeah, we're still on our first date.
I love that.
Right, Tommy?
What's that?
So it's because you got that game.
That's right.
There are times that he's going to be hung by his toes for the game.
Green, yellow, blue, orange. I don't know. Somebody just asked if we were green or yellow, but I'm trying to figure out what that
What's
means.
that? What does your mom do?
Is it like green? Is it the one that has green, yellow, blue, and orange? I don't remember.
Oh my! I'm not sure what that means either.
Those are cartwheels, I think, because twins, cartwheels, crazy twins. I'm trying to look and see what else. Yeah.
Kelly, the econ mom, says, I am a Taurus, stubborn as heck. My hubby is a Pisces, or however you spell it. You know what? I'm a Pisces. Do you know what you are? I don't remember.
I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah.
Oh, so your birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
He's a Christmas baby.
Yeah, I'm actually
Oh,
December 24th.
Oh, look at you.
That's cool.
Okay.
You share a birthday with my favorite person.
Next for Monday.
I was going to be like, who's that? So you guys do have a YouTube channel, and you are doing a series kind of on what you do, as far, which is really has my interest. I watch them because I want to get into your style of business model.
The pallet flipping stuff.
What's that?
Oh, it's super fun. Yeah, let's see. We have a playlist on pallet flipping 101. We made a lot of mistakes along the way because I'm married to somebody who likes to jump first, ask questions later.
I learned by doing.
And so we're like, well, at least now we know what not to do, and we can help other people know what not to do.
Yeah.
So it's been good. I enjoy it. I'm trying to think of. I'm wanting to do a little bit more on it, but I'm kind of doing some research to see like what are the most common questions. So if anybody has common questions that they want to know about, I will do a video on it.
Dang, Reseller King, the lamest person of all, is in the chat now.
Reseller King, he's my favorite lamo.
Yeah, for sure. He makes being lame look cool.
Yeah, we found with pallet flipping and with really liquidation that most of the videos that are out there, it's about unboxing this stuff, but there's not really like there's blogs and stuff. There's liquidators guides that you can get, but I there's some videos that are out there, but I'm not seeing a lot of videos that really go through like how-tos on really how to source liquidation, what to look for. And it's going to be a long process for us really to be able to teach the whole thing, because you really have to teach it in doing and creating opportunities. Because I can talk about it, like in a video, but there's really a lot of things that you have to teach in the moment as we get pallets. So this is like a realization we came to recently. So as we buy pallets in the future, we'll probably do some series, some different types of teaching around specific pallets and what to look for. And
it's almost like we need like an on-the-job training type video, where instead of us sitting down and saying, here's what you do and here's how you do it, we've pretty much given a lot of the information. But the act of doing things is, I think, what we're missing from that series.
Right. See, like I watch a lot of the liquidation. I look for liquidation. What I see is a lot of the, we bought a pallet and they're unboxing and they're going through it, and they'll be like, well, it broke down to this much per item, and I got so many of these, and I can sell them for X amount of dollars. But what I'd like to see more of is more of the start of the process. Like, how do you find your liquidators? How do you vet them to be like a trustworthy, good liquidator to buy from? And then how are you evaluating when you're looking at their lists? Because I got a couple of like the accounts with B stock and the Home Depot liquidation, the Walmart liquidation, stuff like that. But how are you evaluating it when you're going down? And I know they say look at your manifests of what's on there. Don't start out with buying unmanifested pallets. But I mean, what's your evaluation process of, okay, I think this pallet is worth this, and why is it worth that?
Yeah, we could definitely talk about that. There's a lot of things that kind of go into that. I think for me personally, I know a lot of people aren't really like this, but I go very much by testimony. So there's like, pallet liquidator, like reseller groups specifically for pallets and everything. That's, I do a lot of, I kind of lurk on there to see like what liquidators are getting kind of good reviews and things like that. So that's one thing that I do. I know I ask a lot of questions. I think a thing that a lot of us, we need to make sure that we do, especially when we're sourcing something that costs so much money, is building relationships with those liquidators. Like calling them on the phone and talking to them, asking questions, asking them where they get their sources from, and how they, where and how they get their condition descriptions from, and things like that, because everybody's a little bit different. And so when making a decision, it's like you wouldn't hire somebody without first interviewing them, without first getting your foot in the door and talking to them. It's the same thing when you're buying pallets. You're spending a lot of money on these pallets. So I'm not going to give my money to somebody I've never talked to before.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then I don't know how you would say her name. Yvette?
So I think for that, like a lot of liquidators, I wouldn't say a lot. I would say a lot of the major liquidators like liquidation.com, bulk.com, direct liquidation, VIA trading, they have shipping options built into the online checkout process. So a lot of times those are going to be the cheaper options because they're using LTL, like it's I forgot. I'm having a brain fart of what LTL means, but it's just individual pallet.
Less than a load.
Yes, less than a load. That's right. But they'll have the shipping options built in where there's like brokers for shipping. Like there's all these different carriers, and they'll have negotiated rates with these particular carriers. It's like United States Postal Service, but for pallets. So each one of these liquidators will have their own kind of designated carriers that will deliver your pallets. Fees, it really depends on where you live, how far you live from the liquidator is going to determine how much it's going to cost, but also how much, like, where are they delivering it to? Do you live in a residential area? If so, you're going to have to pay a residential fee. Usually it's at least $40. And then if you do not have a way to unload it yourself, like a forklift, then you're going to have to pay for them to unload it for you, which is going to be another at least $40. So they will park it kind of where you want it. So like if you have in a garage, or for us here, like it's usually just at our driveway because we have a pallet jack here, then you can have them do that. A lot of people that they don't have a garage, they have living rooms that they do this in, or they take it in through the living room or into the kitchen. Like they just have them drop it off in the driveway, and then they just unbox the pallets there and then put it where they need to go. But you can also, there's U-Freight is like an LTL carrier. There's several other brokerage firms that you can kind of get some negotiated rates with, but it's not going to be, and I'd say use those for the off the main road liquidators. Like we have a liquidator in Tennessee that we use to buy pallets that I just get on U-Freight, and I type in the dimensions of the pallet, where it's coming from, where it's going to, and then they'll give me 15 or 20 different quotes that I can choose from that will have different shipping times. So I'll do that. And you want to say something? Yeah. So I think that was it.
I'm just saying, like from start to finish, if I wanted to get, my first pallet or couple of pallets, right, I would find out which liquidators are closer to me, because naturally that's less on shipping. So you can spend more on your pallet. So I'd Google that. I'd look on liquidation groups and everything like that. I would figure that out. I'd call them. I'd ask them how they source their items, where their conditions are from, like what is their ship, like, are they taking care of shipping? Can I hire or arrange my own shipping? Like I'd ask a series of questions, which I probably could put together a list of questions if anybody is interested for interviewing liquidators. I don't mind doing that. And then I would develop those relationships. And from that, I would decide maybe 1 or 2 liquidation centers that I'm going to start from. And when I do that, I'm going to order my liquidation, and I'm going to make sure that when I do, I know what I'm going to need to pay for ahead of time. how much I'm willing to spend, including the lift gate if I need it, including residential if I need it, and including any other, like, and that's one thing you can ask your liquidator, like, what am I going to be responsible for? Like, what fees am I going to have to account for before I start bidding on these pallets?
Mm-hmm.
And then making sure that when you bid on those pallets that you're accounting for all of that. Yeah. And I think that right there, those are the main steps that you need to get started. And then making sure that you do not spend more than you're willing to lose, because you just never know. On your first few pallets, Joe and I were lucky to make our money back on our first one. And that's just from experience.
Yeah. I mean, there's only been a few pallets that we've ever, like, I can only think of one pallet that we actually lost money on. Which was, there are lots of people that do lose money on pallets, but they get into it to where they're not doing research. They're just spontaneous bid. They see it and they buy it, and then they don't do the research.
Yeah.
Like, we did a live video the other day. We kind of tag team with Rake and Profits. We have a video coming out with him sometime over the next few days, just about like knowing how to sell these items, how you're going to sell it, like what sales channel you're going to plan on selling it on before you ever buy the pallet. Because there's so many different types of stuff that you can get that if you're not really familiar with the sales channel that you plan on using, like, you can get into trouble like we did. Like, we bought a whole truckload of Amazon small box pallets that we plan on, we're going to just sell it all on eBay. And then we got it all in, and we found that like 70% of it was under $12. And I'm like, there's no way, like it's just, we could make a couple dollars on this, like, by listing on eBay, but like my time is worth more than that. So we found ourselves like, having to open up to the public. Like, those items are good for discount stores, like garage sales or flea market booths. Those are good things. But we didn't think about that before we bought a whole truckload. I'm talking about like 25,000 pieces. So we were very reactionary in trying to figure all this out. And when you have to take time away from listing and sourcing to figure something out, you're losing money. So like, you want to do as much as you can on the front end with like, all right, I'm looking at this pallet, like I'm on bulk.com, and I see these items here that are manifested. All right, I can sell these items here on eBay. These look like some generic unbranded stuff. I'm probably going to have to sell that either at a garage sale or at a flea market booth, or bundle it up and try and get rid of it, because we all know that a lot of times unbranded generic items, they don't really sell well on eBay. Like, they may sell well on Amazon, but I don't recommend anybody selling liquidated goods on Amazon unless you have lots of money to pay lawyer fees and stuff to try and get your account back. And that's where we got into trouble too, because we didn't know the Amazon sales channel well enough to where, like, all right, well, we'll just start selling this stuff on Amazon.
Yep.
And like the Chinese goods, the Chinese sellers, like, they make up like 30 to 40% of Amazon sellers. They don't play nice, right? You can go get any Amazon selling group and you will find that these people fight dirty, and Amazon just suspends people at random and at will until, like, you're guilty until proven innocent. And it's very hard to prove yourself innocent if you try to sell certain goods on there.
Ask us how we know.
We know. We know.
Sure.
So I don't recommend anything on Amazon unless you have a wholesale agreement with a manufacturer. Like, just looking at the long-term scope of where Amazon is going and how they are treating sellers and kind of the direction that they're going. Like, if you're really wanting to build a long-term business on Amazon, it's not really your business, it's Amazon business, because if you were ever to get your account suspended, you lose your entire customer base. Like, that's really a business is a place that has their own customers. If you don't have your own customers, you're not technically a business. You are just a cog in their factory of selling. It's the same thing with eBay. Like, if your eBay account gets shut down, like, you don't have those customers anymore. It's not really a business. It's just, you have a booth, right? It's a business, but you don't have customers without eBay. So it's not technically a business. A business is something, just knock my microphone down. Like, and the customer list. It's just the way that we look at it and the way that we see it. And like eBay, you could probably do a better job. Like you can probably, collect people's email addresses and stuff. I don't know if it's against terms of service. I'm sure on some level it is, but you have at least some way to be able to try to get your own customer base if something like that ever happened.
Right. I've always felt that way too. I mean, it's like, yeah, I own my own business. I work for myself. I choose my hours. That, I pay myself. I pay my taxes. That classifies me as a business. But when it comes to like eBay and Amazon, I always have that in my head that I'm basically an employee of eBay and Amazon's. I'm their product sourcer. I'm going out and finding product for them. I'm doing all the work, and they're giving me a percentage of it.
Yeah, you're a franchisee.
Yeah, basically that's how I always looked at it. And I don't mind that. It doesn't, it works for me. But I agree. I agree with what everything you just said pretty much is.
And it sucks, because we all get into this wanting to have our own business, but then you realize at the end of the day, I'm at the mercy of eBay or Amazon, or if you build a Facebook business, like you are still at the mercy of them, and then the way that they operate their business, that it's not your customers. And I think that's why Shopify is making such a huge growth in the industry. Like any day now, and they may have already, but they're going to top eBay as the number 2 online reselling platform, or the online sales retail platform is on Shopify. But Shopify, it's your own store. Yes, there's lots of things that are hard with Shopify. You have to generate your own traffic, but at the end of the day, like, it's the most safe and secure way to keep your customers, because you're not at risk from getting suspended or getting deactivated or any of those things. It's less risky. We are in Conway, Arkansas, reselling addicts, right in the middle of the state.
Like 30, 45 minutes away from Little Rock.
And me and Destiny are planning a big move within this next year. What that happened? Sorry about that. Within this next year, and I've been trying to do a lot of research on the liquidation and stuff, because that's really a model I'd like to get into. And I've been searching actually for liquidators that are located south. I want to move where it's warmer. We're in Wisconsin. It's cold. My body don't like it, and we want to move warm. And I'm actually looking for liquidators in the south, so I can look at that as a possible potential place to relocate to cut down on shipping costs. Hopefully, maybe we would have it where I can come pick up my own pallets, and that would definitely up my ROI on the.
Yeah. Definitely.
Unless
you order a whole truckload. If you order a mass, like, it's going to cost, like, I can have a whole truckload delivered from 12 hours away for $1,100. So like, it's ridiculous. If I had all those pallets shipped individually, it'd cost me almost $5,000.
Yeah, that way. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's that way, but I would say Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, or Florida, there is a huge cluster of liquidators in that area. You just think of high dense population areas, states. That's where a lot of liquidators are going to be, because they're buying stuff from the Amazon distribution centers, and pretty much every state I know at some point will have that, because Amazon wants to put a distribution center in just about every state so that they can offer the 1 day, or if not same day shipping.
See, in Wisconsin here, it really sucks when it comes to liquidators. We get these little pop-up people that buy a couple of trucks and then, try to sell them off, but then they realize it's more work or takes up more room than they anticipated, and then they're gone,
Yeah.
Like, our closest liquidation company is in Indiana.
Yeah.
And they want to hit me almost $300 for delivery on a single pallet.
It's crazy.
And I'm like, I can get the pallet at a great price, but by the time I tack on that shipping, it's like,
For sure.
Yeah. I need to get closer to the product to either cut down on shipping costs or be able to go get it myself when I'm getting started. If I'm buying 2, 3, 4 at a time, 6 even, I grab a straight truck, go grab them,
Yeah. And you have to, I mean, especially when you're doing small operation, that by choice. It's like, Jessica and we're really having lots of discussion about, how big do we want to try and grow this business? And then with that, we have to have the strategy to be able to make that come to life. And like we don't want to get a warehouse too soon. Like we want to be able to take advantage of being able to order a whole truckload, but not at the cost of having to get a warehouse and all that stuff. So, knowing those things and planning on how you want to operate your business, and then you pretty much you have that confines of what you have to work with. It may be to where you have a truck and trailer, and you make a 2-day trip and you go pick up 6 or 8 or 10 pallets on a flatbed truck or what have you on a box trailer, to where you can save, $1,000, $2,000 in shipping. Or you may have to get it to where you get a storage unit, and you're able to order, 10 pallets at a time, or 12 pallets or 8 pallets, and have them deliver it to the storage unit, where it'll be a little bit cheaper because you won't have to pay the residential fee. But when you start adding on like 3 and 4 pallets, it really only goes up like $100 per pallet shipping. It's like when we ship from Tennessee, and they're about 9 hours from where we are, it's about $300 for 1 pallet, $400 for 2. I can get like 6 or 7 pallets delivered for $800. So, dang. So it's just,
You don't like that microphone, huh?
I don't like it
this morning.
So
you guys,
awesome, Lisa. I seen that you were born in Little Rock. That's awesome. I was born in Little Rock too.
All three
I
of
bet
our
you were
kids
born
were
at
born in Little Rock.
Baptist Hospital.
Or UMS.
Her military. Her dad was in the Air Force. My dad was in the Air Force.
My dad was in the Air
Yeah.
Force.
So awesome, fellow. What were we called? Air Dink military brats.
Military brats?
Yeah, military brats. Although I wasn't really bratty because I only ever lived in Little Rock Air Force Base. Like my dad got orders several times. He tried to go to Alaska 3 separate times. And every time that he got orders to go, he got promoted or he gained a stripe, which canceled the orders. So we never left.
I've been everywhere. I was born in California and then lived in Japan, Germany, and then finally in Arkansas, and fell in love with it here. I know that we have this reputation for being like hillbillies or whatever, but Arkansas is a wonderful, beautiful state, and I actually really do I do love it.
St. Vincent still exists, Lisa. Nate, did you have a question?
Arkansas. I interrupted you. I apologize, Jessica.
No, you didn't. You're doing good.
Do you guys ever try and look at like pirate ship for your shipping needs? Because there's a lot of times if you're looking for like a pallet or two, you can basically set up like a rate. So if like you're only picking up 1 or 2 pallets or whatever, that someone happens to be in the area, they'll grab it and just be happy with.
Well, you're talking. You mean U-Ship? Not
U-Ship. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, we have an account with U-Ship and also U-Freight. I've got my own contact with U-Freight. I just call them up, say, "Hey, I've got this," and then she'll find me some good deals. So we have that, but because they're all brokers, it's going to cost about the same. Like there's not really that much difference that they're going to have because it's all negotiated rates based off of sales volume.
Me and Destiny actually used to do U-Ship for a while. Like we were local haulers for U-Ship.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they had like a piano that
that piano is crazy.
just across town. They loaded it, they unloaded it. We drove it from like 15 minutes away from one spot to the other, $200 quick cash. It was like
he drove. I just helped load. The
yeah,
stuff
we did a couple of things like that, but then my vehicle at the time became a little unreliable, so I was like,
that was a Durango, right?
That was the Durango, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so then it kind of faded off, but it was actually a pretty good gig for a little bit.
Yeah, people pay for that stuff, especially for furniture and stuff, and they'll pay some good money to have it moved.
Yeah, the one of the things that we had to move was a piano. Okay. And
that's the most memorable because that was the very first one.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, we have to move a piano on the first one.
Yeah, so we get it into the trailer, we strap it down, we make sure that nothing's going to happen to it. It needed to go 5 minutes down the road. That's it. And we drove from where we lived at the time, which was
about 45 minutes.
Yeah, to move a piano 5 minutes away. And I was like, is this really worth it? But they gave us a big tip for it because they were like, please be careful, please be careful, please be careful. And it wasn't like it was a super old vintage piano. It was a beautiful piano, but it was, I don't know, it was, I personally wouldn't have thought of it as a vintage piece, but they loved their piano. So we got it there. We got it in the house for them, and we got a nice tip from them. And when they did our review on there, they said that they would use us again and again and again because we took such great care of their piano.
Yeah, they had some severe emotional attachment to that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know. It could have been their moms or grandmas.
Yeah, but that's the thing of it. When people connect and they have that emotional connection with different pieces of furniture, they'll pay for the safety of having it moved.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were surprised because we had blankets and pillows and, you know, that we had brought with us just to make sure that it was protected. So.
That's awesome. Y'all took good care of it.
Are there any liquidation like websites, for example, like any of the bigger ones like the Bulks or the liquidation.com or whatever that you guys would advise new people interested in liquidation to steer clear of?
I don't know if there's any one. I mean, they all have their pluses and they all have their minuses. They all like, it's really palette specific.
That's good.
Yeah. Palette specific that you have to watch out for. Like a lot of these liquidators, like they don't take good pictures and the manifest aren't always right. Like liquidation.com, like I'll laugh at their pictures because they'll be like,
it's a box.
A box.
A closed box.
It's like from like 20 feet away. But it's like they're just sending it through. Like it's like if they probably took better pictures, they probably, I don't know, they probably wouldn't make better money because people would then, you know, like to look at stuff. But it's just really palette specific. They all have their pros and their cons. They all have their issues, just like any eBay seller would. That sometimes items are mislisted. Like we're not perfect. I know Bulk. They have if you get items that aren't invoiced correctly, like they will take care of you. But I've seen that with, you know, some are harder to work with. But it really just depends on the individual pallet. Like we always encourage people, like if you're going to buy a pallet, the best thing to do, if you are able, is to go physically look at a pallet. Go and talk to a liquidator, knowing that whom you're going to talk to is a salesperson, right? But see if you can talk to people. Like if there are people that are there that are shopping, ask them like, hey, have you purchased from these before? Like what do you like? What do you don't like about it? Get in like Facebook groups and ask people questions because people will tell you about their experiences with certain liquidators. Like, you know, it's part of it. Like do the research. It's not something that you can do and be successful at it you could do it and get lucky and go do it, but you can make more money and save yourself more time if you just talk to people and do some research. But a lot of people, they don't want to do that. Like people are lazy. And unfortunately, people are lazy. They want information for free and they want it right now. Like they don't want to go do the work. Like they just want to do what somebody else has told them to do. They don't really want to go and learn from themselves. And so I won't go down that road. I know last time I went down some roads. So I won't go down that road today.
What do you think about the person that's like, because like we started my whole reselling venture. I mean, I always hustled and flipped and did little things. But when I decided, all right, now it's time to take it to the next level and be serious about it and turn it into a full-time income, I started on a $500 bill. So what about the guy that wants to, like, say in that position, at that point I would have decided I want to try to get into the liquidation right away, but obviously $500 is not enough to get probably a decent pallet delivered. And if you can find that deal, you're taking a risk that one pallet's going to be the good pallet. So what about the guy that has a little bit of money involved? What do you think of buying like the cases from bulk that you can start in on a cheaper level?
You can make money on those.
Just to get the feel of it,
Like,
and turn
granted,
your
mixed in with that stuff, you're gonna have smaller items on there, right? You've got to, like, if you want a smaller lot, you've got to look at the invoice, look at the items that are on there. Don't go off of the retail value that they have attached to it, but do some price comps on it. Like for us, like when we decide to purchase like a box or a pallet, but we'll talk strictly about a box since that's really around the question you're asking, is that I would look at it and look at the top items, the top 5 or 10 items, and the bottom 5 or 10 items, and do some price checks on those to determine really like if the first 5 or 10 items will pay for the whole box and will put me into profit, then I will probably willing to take a risk on it and buy it. But also if like the top 5 or 10 items make up like 80% of the value of the box, like you're not buying that box for the whole box. You're buying it for those top 5 or 10 items. So then with the rest of it, you've got to have a plan of like, how am I going to get rid of the rest of this stuff? Do I want to donate it? Do I want to try and bundle it? Do I want to put it in a flea market? What do I want to save it for a garage sale? Like, what do I want to do to get rid of the other stuff? But like, you can do it. Like it just depends on what you're wanting to buy. Like, I don't know. I think why thrifters, pickers have such a hard time with liquidation is a twofold thing. One, those people typically buy what they like. You know, they buy what excites them. You know, like these things excite, like, oh, I'm excited about this item. And if I'm excited about it, other people are going to be excited about it, right? But also when you do that, you have more control over your purchasing process, because then you can go and you can pick exactly which items that you are wanting to purchase. But so like that's kind of like the two things that like it's you don't have full control. So like you're gonna buy stuff that's not gonna be sellable, that it's gonna be junk. That's just part of it.
Now, when it comes to your conditions, at what conditions does it get really risky? Obviously, the salvage condition is probably horribly risky, but then you have like your returns, your shelf pulls, your like news, and your brand new retail ready. Obviously, your retail ready, you know what you're getting. It's going to be, you know, and whatever. And I imagine shelf pulls are probably pretty similar to like a retail ready.
I think that, you know, this is where, you know, Joe and I want to be really careful about when we tell people and instruct people on how to do pallets, that this is really experiential. You can't sit on YouTube, watch a whole bunch of videos, know everything there is to know about pallet liquidating and buying liquidation, and then go out and do it and not make mistakes.
Right.
I am the kind of person that wishes that were true, because I don't like to jump until I know everything about the thing that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, that's just not how it is. With conditions, there are some liquidators that pretty much everything is salvaged because they're trying to get rid of the responsibility of the pallets being really bad. And then there are some that grade them at a certain level, and then there's some, like Amazon may even grade some of those pallets, and then they tell them what the grade is at the liquidator, and the liquidator has nothing to do with it. So that's what I'm saying when I say, you know, I know there's a couple of videos that we have. One of them is sourcing, but the other one I did one on condition. And it really, this is when having those conversations with people, doing your research and talking to people is really important. And I know, like, people are like, I don't want to have to do that. I'm like, I know that you don't, but if you want to be successful, you've got to talk to people. You've got to call people. If you can visit, go and visit. Joe and I are trying to go to Tennessee. It's all about the
relationships.
Because, and also, look, I get it, because I have I have social anxiety, believe it or not. I have a pretty extreme social anxiety, and it's hard for me to call somebody. I will call for a doctor's appointment and probably hang up twice on a bad day before I actually talk to anybody. And I get that. But if you want to be successful, you have to overcome it. You have to talk to people, because people are going to be more willing to help you when they hear your voice. You can email if you want to, but emails get lost. People just say whatever they want to in emails. But if they hear your voice, they hear that you're a real person, they're going to want to help you. They're going to want to talk to you. When you're visiting people, like Joe said, like talking to customers and stuff, like that's so important to do. So I can't sit here and with confidence say, oh yeah, salvage is a risk and customer returns is, a little less of, on a large scale, it's true, but it really depends on what liquidator you're buying from. It depends on a pallet by pallet basis. It depends on what retail manufacturer it's coming from. And that's why I say, I know it's a huge risk to do pallets, but if you do your research, the more research that you do, the more that you talk to people, the less of a risk it becomes, and the more comfortable you can be in actually having a successful flip.
Yeah. It's all a risk. Everything, all of reselling is a risk.
Absolutely.
And like people want to create a risk-free environment, and it's just not possible. Like I would, with the grading scales and all of that, like they're all like, it's a risk with it all, because there's a chance it's not going to be accurate. Like we bought a couple shelf pull pallets from Amazon, not from Amazon, but from liquidation.com that were Amazon. And like, we're like, okay, well, like these should be pretty good. Like they've never been in a customer's hands, but still, we still got items that had been broken. We were able to double, almost triple our money on those pallets. But like, we were like, it's just part of the risk. And then we bought pallets of salvage stuff that like we made lots of money on, because there was still lots of good stuff in there. And I think Reseller King had talked about, the margins, profit margins, and this and that. People get hung up on margins all the time. How much dollars are you profiting? Like, what are the dollars? Like people like to source, because you can source an item for $1 and sell it for 100. But like, if you're wanting to scale, and I think that most people struggle with the transition. They want to do this full time, but they're stuck in part time because they're stuck in models and sourcing models that will not allow them to scale. It's like, we don't like buying liquidation is not the only way that we source. It is a part of what we do. And that's what we recommend to everybody, is like the more sourcing techniques that you have in your sourcing tool belt, the more likely you are going to be successful. Because when one thing you're having problems, like if you go thrifting, but then all of a sudden there's 3 or 4 thrifters in your city that started reselling, and then every time that you go, it's done picked clean dry. Like there's nothing good to resell, right? And you're like, okay, well, I don't know what to do. Like, what am I going to do now? So then you're able to purchase other stuff. Like we purchase a wide variety of stuff, and everybody should, whether you have to do that or not, like I would recommend some type of consistency in the items that you sell. Like you look at the top eBay sellers and even a lot of Amazon sellers, that they really sell, like they're down to like 3 categories or main categories that they sell in, just because it's easier to source those specific categories. It's not easy to source that if thrifting and garage selling and estate sales is the way to do it. Or if that's your main source, like you kind of get this department store type effect where you've got lots of everything that it's hit or miss. Like you don't really have something that keeps people coming back to your store. So
I want to encourage people to I'm going to try to like do like a quick metaphor, and I think it would help kind of explain what we're trying to say. I think a lot of us, like as resellers, like we want a formula. We want a black and white answer. We want, this is what we do. Like, how can I replicate Joe and Jessica's model of pallet flipping so that it works for me? But the thing is that we're all so different, just like the human body is very different. We all need to do this. We all need the same things to work, right? Whereas like shipping would be the cardiovascular system. It pumps blood. It keeps things moving. Sourcing may be the muscle system, right? And your discipline and your work ethic, that would be, the brain or whatever. And all of these things work together, but they all work together differently. And I think that when we stop looking at all right, formula is I'm going to do this thing and do this thing and do this thing and do this thing and realize, how do I make my body work for me? How do I make my business work for me? And that's why, you know, it's like, how can I prepare myself and make myself the best business owner? Well, that's when I figure out what my needs are, what I'm capable of, what I can and cannot do, what I'm willing and not willing to do, and make that business work for me instead of trying to force somebody else to do, you know, like we have all of these resellers on YouTube, and all of these resellers, I consider them successful. I think they're great. I think everybody on here is doing what they can. And when we move into something else, you know, I think that we need to take what all of these people have, because they have such great information and such great experiences, and apply them, not replicate them. Like apply the goodies and the gold that people have to give, but not necessarily just replicate it and try to make it work in our lives, because it won't work that way. Because we all live differently. We all have different goals.
We all have different, like here in Arkansas, we can have a great living making $60,000 a year. But if you're in San Francisco, you're in poverty. Like at $100,000 a year, you're in poverty. So like, it really depends on the lifestyle that you want to live, with the strategy that you want to do. Like our culture, like we are in an identity crisis. Nobody knows who they are, so that they try to be everybody else. It's the same thing with resellers. They don't know what type of reselling business that they want to have. So they try to replicate all of these other businesses, but then they wonder at the end of the day, like, why am I not being successful? I'm buying these items that these other people are buying, but I'm still not having success. So it's really about learning the processes that everybody else goes through and understanding why they do what they do, so that you can then apply that to your business and know like why it is that you're doing what you do. And does it fit into your overall grand scheme of things? Like if your goal is to list 20 items per week, and you're able to go to a thrift store and pick up 20 items per week that are going to profit you. Like if you want to make, an extra $10,000 per year, right? A great model for that is to list like, I forgot the numbers. I think it's like listing 20 items per week that will give you 20 items profit on each item that will sell within 60 days. So it's got a 50% sell through. That will give you an extra $100,000 per year. Sorry. So like, it really depends on what you want. Like a lot of people, they just want that little extra money. They like the thrill of doing it all. But then some people want to make six figures, and you can do that too. But it all depends how you want to do it.
Did we go off the rabbit trail?
I know. Last night when I was talking to Joe, you said that you guys could give us an hour today. And I know you're busy. Really appreciate it. I know we're rolling up on that hour here within a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
One more question that I have for you, because I see your guys' videos. I talk to Joe from time to time, and I know the business family flips, but I also like to know the people besides the business. So, unbusiness related, when you guys aren't doing your thing that everybody sees on YouTube, what do you enjoy doing as you, the family flips? What is your entertainment, or what is your, we're away from work, it has nothing to do with work, and we're going to go have fun today. We're going to do what?
Work.
We are both very type A personalities, and it's very, very difficult for us to not work all the time.
Yeah.
Because we do love it. And so
I think a big direction where we're at now is I have had a problem with YouTube since the beginning, since we started doing YouTube. I've been doing all this stuff, and like I've had this desire, but I didn't know exactly what that desire was, or even how to communicate it. But I'd find myself, because we would get off and I'd be like, I want to do these videos and stuff. But then it's like, I don't want to be boxed in. Like we reselling is something that we do. It's not who we are. Like it's a small, it is a very, it's an important character of our life, but it's a small character of our life. Like we have all of these different nuances and things that drive us, that reselling helps us get there. But like, how do we do it all? It's like, so I've come to this realization, we've got some special projects that we've been working on behind the scenes. that have really opened my eyes to the idea of film and story making. But like, I still found myself like, how do we tell the stories of our life? Like, how do we do this in a way that's creative? Because I hate being boxed in and feeling restricted. And I see all of these other resellers, and nothing personal, but all the videos look the same. It's the same thing. Like, let me take you to the thrift store and I'll show you what I bought.
It's
And
entertaining.
here's some stuff. And this is what I got. This is how much I'm going to make from it. And then, or it's like, let me show you, my garage sale trip, or let me show you what sold on my eBay store this last week. And I'm going to give you some tips here and there about this, or I'm going to go over the eBay glitches and this and that. It's all the same.
It's good
Nothing
information.
personal.
It's so entertaining, but like it's for us. It's like what can we offer that's different?
Yeah,
and
That's cool.
what can we give to the community that is different? Because y'all got everybody on YouTube that's doing all of these videos. They've got it covered. Like,
there's so much information out there. Like,
Right.
we are in the information age, and there is way so much information. And honestly, I feel like it cripples people in the end more than it helps, because all the information that contradicts itself. This reseller says do this. This one says you should source like this. This one says you should inventory like this. This one says you should do it like this. This one says that you should only do wholesaling. This one says you can do Amazon this way. Like, it's so much information that like people are like, I don't even know what to do, so I'm not going to do anything. You know what I mean?
wow.
See, what I did is I watch all them same videos, and it is exactly like you say. And what I do is I pick the little pieces of information from everybody and compile to what fits in my lifestyle.
And that's the way you have to do it. Yeah.
I can't even doing liquidation. I can't get into liquidation and do it the exact same way you guys do it and have the same success. We live in different places. We probably enjoy listing different and dealing with different type of product, but I can take a lot of your information and maybe somebody else's information and build it into my own little business policy and program. There's no one single reseller or YouTube video that you can watch and say, okay, I'm going to model right after them and it works for you.
I think like this big picture of who we are is that, we want to follow Jesus with everything we've got. We want to see his kingdom come. And in order for us to do that, in order for us to be that, then we transform on the inside, and we follow him, and we follow his heart, and we read his word, and we do all of those things. And that's a big reason why we are such relational people, because Jesus was a relational person.
Not the religious Jesus that most of y'all have been shoved down your throat growing up.
I didn't grow up in church. I was a drug addict. I walked into church. I walked out not a drug addict, having known this amazing Jesus. I never actually, he had to de-religify. I never actually had it. So it's kind of interesting, the dynamics. And I hear all these churched people talk, and I'm like, wow, that has to be like, I feel like that's harder.
Do you even know God? Like, do you even know Jesus?
Yes. So the big picture is that's our big goal. That's our eternal goal. That is everything. And that looks like in us spending time with our children. That looks like treating people with respect. That looks like helping other people succeed. In our reselling business, it looks like a desire to give people the opportunity to surrender the things in them that hurt them and bind them and keep them oppressed, and teaching them and help lifting them up in a way that works for them. And so I guess like outside of reselling is just is a character of what we do and who we are. But our values, our core values of lifting people up and helping people succeed, that's really ultimately what overflows into our reselling business. And that's what you see on YouTube.
And YouTube, it's like, with that, like just a continuation of what she said. But like, whenever Jesus was asked a question, he didn't answer it. There's like 2 times where he actually answered the question. Most of the time he answered the question with a question.
Yep.
Because he doesn't he never wanted somebody to just know the information. He wanted to know like why you believe that. Why do you think it's that way? Like he wanted us to think and know for ourselves instead of what somebody else has told us.
Because if you know why you believe something, then you can stand behind it.
You can be unwavering in your belief system when you know why you do what you do. It's the same thing with like resellers. It's like people don't even know why they're reselling. They're doing it because of money, but then they're not making the money. Then they want to quit. Well, like that's not really your why. Like you're not really reselling. Like if that was it, then you can make money doing anything.
You know what you guys are doing right now?
Huh?
You know what you're doing right now? This is what you're doing.
Flipping hope.
Yeah. So that's it. It's just knowing why, challenging people where they are. And that's why I like just thought-provoking stuff. So, we enjoy like this, like our YouTube channel, like is adding characters as we progress. Like reselling has been a main character of our reselling of our YouTube channel, but like it's moving into a place where it's still going to be a character of our channel, but it's not going to be the central main character of our channel. And if you come to our channel and all you want is reselling stuff, like we're still going to do that, but it's not going to be every video about reselling.
Also, reselling related, but tying this all together, right? If you want to know why you're doing something, like if you want to know your big why, right? So you're reselling for 5 main reasons, right? 3 to 5 goals, right? I want an extra this much in my bank. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do, the immediate, I want to be able to get my car fixed. I want to be able to, not live paycheck to paycheck, right? So those things are now accomplished. So you crumple up that paper, you throw it behind you. Those things are accomplished, right? So now what are the next 3 goals? Now what? Like, what do you want to accomplish now? Right? So you do 3 to 5 more goals. And that might look like, I don't know. I don't want to put you in a box. So I don't want to give you examples, right? So you do those 3 things. And now you crumple that up, you throw it behind you, and now you have to do 3 to 5 more goals. And those things are going to be things that you're going to be afraid to think about probably. Like that, those just seem so very impossible, so very crazy to you. But those things become your why. And if you're fighting for those things as opposed to just fighting for that paycheck, then when reselling isn't working or when you're sinking or you don't know what's going on, you know exactly what you're fighting for. And that ultimately is going to make it gives you a fighting chance to make your business more successful.
One thing I really like about what you just shared, Jessica, my wife has a very similar background. She's actually been clean 15 years now, and God's just done a work in her life. It's been amazing.
That is awesome.
And some people resell because they don't want to deal with life.
Oh, now we're going to be, nope, there we go. He's pushing it.
Some people do. Because they don't want to deal with life problems. They don't want to deal with family issues. So they picked up a part-time job to make extra money for the family because it looks good, but they're really doing it to not deal with emotional hurts and wounds or with relational and marital problems that they have. And then they wonder why their wife or their husband is giving them a hard time about reselling. So
old school picker says, you make money anywhere. Give me the freedom of reselling. But why? Why do you want the freedom of reselling? Like, it's not enough just to say, I want the freedom of reselling. Like, why? Okay, Reseller King says, I resell because I love it. Why do you love it? Like, you have to dig really, really, really deep. The only way that Joe and I made it after all those terrible pallets, after sleepless nights and everything, is because we did this exercise and we got really, really deep. And ultimately, I shared my why with you. I shared our why with you. We want to see Jesus' kingdom come. That was the top of the list, ultimately, where we got there. And then it shaped everything. So when we closed down our warehouse, it was a difficult thing to do because we were making money, but we weren't, it wasn't because of the money. It was because we weren't doing what our why was. We weren't seeing Jesus' kingdom come in this way because we were neglecting our children. We were neglecting our home, even though we were making that money, and that's ultimately
the world
what
will say you're successful because you're making money.
But we were miserable.
In
Why
our
were
hearts,
we miserable?
we were a failure.
Sorry.
It doesn't really matter how much money you have or you're making if you're not happy with your lifestyle.
Right.
Money makes things easier. It creates less stressful situations.
It's a good tool.
But you shouldn't chase money.
it's a great tool to have. It's a great thing to collect. But if that's why you're doing it, when the money is gone, then your why is gone. Your drive is gone. Your determination is gone.
Yeah. It's like when I was growing up, I wanted to make $100,000 a year by the time I reached the age of 30, and I got it. But I was miserable. I was losing money out the wazoo, gambling and drinking, and I was miserable. But I thought that once I got all that money, that my problem would be solved. But it wasn't. It just had more problems. It was more ways to mask and to cover up the issues that I had in my heart. So
You guys are awesome. They said they had an hour for reselling.
yeah, we're fixing to go
They have all the time in the world for Jesus.
Yeah. We said all that to say, like, what do we enjoy? Like, I am falling in love with story making through film.
Yeah.
That I don't know what it is, but over the weekend, something just awakened in me. And it just turned something on. Like I didn't, through our therapy sessions, I come to the realization that I did not allow myself to feel sadness. I don't know if you've ever seen, what's that movie? Joy, the girl.
That's not I had the name of it, and then you said Joy, and then I lost
Inside Out? Are you talking about
it.
that?
Yeah.
So like the whole movie.
Give it to the pastor.
Right.
Too. There you go.
Joy didn't, like, they would all exclude sadness from their life because they didn't see the purpose of sadness. But it's only through sadness, like through sadness is what you can truly develop an emotional and relational and soul level connection with people and even with God. But I come to this realization, I don't know, it was probably a month ago, that I did not let myself feel sad. That any time that I felt sad, my logical mind would pop up and say, all right, well, I'm just gonna do this, this, and this, and explain it away what happened so that I didn't have to feel sad inside, right? But what happens when you numb a feeling, when you push sadness aside, right? You saw what happened in the movie is like it freaking shut down. Like the end result is you become numb to every emotion, right? So if you suppress sadness, you're not going to, like, you may have moments of excitement, but you're not going to have joy because it's the whole thing becomes numb. So I came to that realization, like, man, I can't truly feel joy and happiness and peace about things in my life because I've numbed myself to these other emotions. So through that and this discovery, like it's through film and all this stuff, like it's created something like, man, I can really share my emotions through this and really connect people emotionally with what I'm trying to do in our life. So
We just want to be real, I guess.
Yeah.
All in all, make it short.
Yep.
We want to be real.
And you can pick up on that too in your YouTube videos and stuff. You can tell that what you're saying you actually feel, and you feel genuine about it. You're not, that I love watching your videos because I don't ever have the feeling of like they're trying to tell me what to do. They're telling me what they do. They're not trying to sell me something. I get the feeling when I watch your videos that you're providing the information that you're providing because you enjoy it. You truly want to help people. I think you truly want to see people succeed, and I pick up on that, and I gravitate towards those type of videos.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate that.
I love it. And anybody that isn't subscribed that's in chat, I definitely think you should head over to subscribe. They have excellent content, excellent. I mean, even all the way back to your earlier videos. I mean, you guys, you could tell you've always been like true to yourself and who you are, and not camera fake. I guess I should say there's people that are totally different on YouTube, but I had a feeling if we came down by you, went to lunch or something, I'd be talking to the same people over the lunch table as I am through this camera.
Yep.
That's
You may
We
even
are
see
too.
that a
Just
little.
like knowing you off camera.
I think I'd be a little quieter.
This is beautiful.
That's pretty
I wanted
bad.
to highlight something real quick because I thought it was beautiful. Blue Rhino Liquidation says he started reselling because I made a promise to my mom when she passed away that I would take care of everyone, family, so none of us would ever have to worry. And I made a promise to her and God. I think that is absolutely beautiful.
Awesome, man.
So my question is, after that, say that you've made all the money that you've made and that nobody has to worry. All the kids get to go to college. and you're living good, everybody's debt is paid off in your family, then what? What's the next goal? Like, just keep moving, keep going, because that was a good one, and I want to encourage you to go deeper. What's the next one? After all the money is taken care of and everybody is good, just like you promised her and you promised God, what's next? Sorry, I just want to.
I too suffer from social anxiety, and it took Tommy a long time to try to learn how to deal with it, because he wasn't used to somebody like me. He really wasn't.
I can say I grew up a city partier, going out all the time, and I'm used to people. Hey, what's happening? Go somewhere doesn't. She's just kind of just laid back. And
I sat back, didn't say much, constantly was scanning around me. And I mean, I'm getting better.
She'd be one of these. We'd walk into, like, go back to Milwaukee where I was from, walking on, but she was like this on my arm, like somebody was going to snatch her up or something. I'm like,
yeah,
relax, enjoy yourself.
I know how that feels. Yeah.
And I even to this day, it's still a struggle. And if we are in Walmart, and Walmart may not be a very good example, but when we're in Walmart, I've learned to, like, go far away from him. But if I do one lap around Walmart and I can't find him, I instantly,
my phone's ringing. Where are you?
Yeah, I panic.
Yeah.
I've gotten to that step where before it was like, no, you have to stay right here. And so it's a long process. So I can relate to social anxiety severely. And
that sucked when I had to stay right by her in Walmart, because I don't want to look at the stuff she looks at.
And that's stuff that we want to tackle, that we want to provoke thought on, is topics just like that, and still pull it in, like, all together. But that's who we are. Like, I hate things sometimes. I feel so segmented in life. Like, I'm like, you've only, like, people watch, like, oh, I know him. Like, no, a very small portion of who I am. Like, you only see, like, reseller Joe with these different core beliefs in there, but there's just so much more to the both of us. And we really want y'all to know all of the characters of our lives. And we're just figuring out how to put that in a way that's helpful, entertaining, and is good. So,
yeah.
Yep.
And when you figure that out and how to do that, I'm definitely gonna follow that aspect of your lifestyle, because that has to do with my question earlier when I was like, but who are you besides the business we see all the time?
Yeah. And we're starting, we're starting that. We've got a lot of projects we're working on. And so soon you'll start seeing different characters pop up in our on our TV network.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
I love hanging out with y'all. Thanks for having us on. I really appreciate it. It's awesome.
Thanks for coming on. It's been cool having you on today too, Jessica.
Well, thanks.
Not that Joe wasn't sufficient on his own, but, like, I really believe that you two really make each other better. And I think that's
you.
Compliment each other very well.
Together as a unit and just, like, enrich one another.
It's easy to love people who are just like you, but it actually takes a choice of love when somebody is different than you. And, like, Jessica is so different than me that I actually have to choose. Not that she's bad, but she's just different. But you have to choose to love. And it says in the Bible that even the sinners love those who are nice to them.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing. Like, if you, all of your friends, man, I'm going somewhere else too.
I'm so sorry. I know we said an hour.
If all of your friends are the same ethnicity, the same cultural background, like, it's easy to have friends like that because they're all the same.
You don't have to adjust so much. You don't have to be conscious of it. It's like it's like walking. It's like it's something that you do without thinking.
Yeah. Then there's no choice. You don't have to choose anything. And that's what life's about choosing to look past all of that stuff.
But
so
the reason why we this is real. Like we're not going to shut this off and go fight in the corner. You know, yes, we do have conflict. Yes, we do struggle with things. Yes, sometimes I get really PO'd and I walk away for a few minutes. Like that happens.
And I walk around like this.
He does. Yes, we do absolutely. He does. He walks in like this. That's when I know something's wrong. But yeah, so yes, we do struggle, we do fight, we do all those things. But this that you're seeing is real, and it came from us being very intentional about choosing each other, even when he's not doing what I want him to do.
Being a total nice person.
Do we ever do what they want us to do, Joe?
Yeah, man, we do. Happy life, happy wife. That's such baloney crap.
No, happy house. That's what I say.
I'm like,
men deserve to be happy
that
too.
mindset creates passivity where you only do what she wants, but on the inside you're miserable and you hate life because you have needs and feelings too.
That's why we say happy house, happy spouse.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it. I'm going to have to adopt that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Ashley.
If you only do what she wants or what he wants, you still have needs inside of you that you are neglecting. Sorry, I'm passionate about it.
We're very passionate.
I might have to pass that to my wife.
You can tell, like, when I'm not really interested in something, like, I'm probably get really quiet. Like, I have a hard time staying in tune when things that just don't grip me. But certain things, topics, subjects, like I get very loud and very vocal because that's a core thing in me. So,
I like it, man.
Destiny will come to me and start telling me about something, whatever it is. And, I'm trying to show the attention. Like, yeah, I want to listen to you. But, yeah, that real interest isn't there. So she gets a lot of, yep.
And then I'm like, I'll
cool.
throw something
That's
in the
cool.
middle of it because I know he's not listening. And I'm like,
I've done that.
yep.
But then she slips something important in there that you're supposed to know. But
Hey,
you were
no,
checked
back
out.
to the point. Here's the deal. I realize that I'm an external processor, which means that I don't necessarily need somebody to say him to like be engaged. I'm really just talking out loud, trying to process my life.
I do that.
And he's an internal processor, so he'll just be sitting there processing, and I'm like, he's mad at me. Like, he's mad at me. Like, look at his face.
I'm just trying to figure out what the heck just was said because like there's so many words.
So yeah, so I'm an external processor. I'm starting to learn. This is something that I'm working on. Is that when I see the glazed over look, I'm like, hey, I actually need you to know this. And he's like, oh yeah, okay, yes, I'm here. And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to continue processing, and then I'll just go and process, and he can listen if he wants to or not want to.
Yeah.
Do you get where you're talking and trying to process things out loud and you hear, really? That makes absolutely no sense.
Oh yeah, all the time. It made perfect sense in my head though. Like the language in my head and the language that comes out of my mouth, it's the same thing, but it makes sense in here, but not out here.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, we'll go through it. Like, she'll be saying something. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then she'll go through it again. And I was like, well, that's not what you said. She's like, that's what I meant. And I'm like, well, what language are you talking?
He should know what I'm saying without
it's
me
not
having
what I said, it's what I meant.
Yeah, exactly. You know how to read between lines. Come on now. Better at it.
That's how a lot of our arguments will start. Because I tell her all the time, it's not necessarily what she says, but it's how she says it.
Oh my gosh, you could have should have come out of Joe's mouth. He says that all the time. I'm like, how was I supposed to say it?
I'm like,
exactly.
I am feeling attacked. Are you mad at me? Because I'm sensing hostility in your tone, and I'm feeling attacked, and I'm fixing to open up my fight or flight mode, and like I don't fight very well. So it's like guns locked and loaded. What did you just say to me?
We're both like those praying mantises, like on the branches of a tree, like fighting for like territory. And we're like, oh, like who's gonna make the first move? Yeah. So
and a lot of times too, like I'll just be talking out loud to myself because I'm trying to figure something out, And he thinks I'm talking to him, and he'll get mad at me. And I'm like, what are you mad about? I'm not even talking to you. Well, you're talking out loud. I'm like,
Yeah, because internal people don't say things out loud unless it's a purpose for it.
but then he'll run around the house going, I talk to myself because there is no one to talk to. Like, he'll see that house. Okay. And I'm like, really? So yeah, I mean, we have fun, but
Well,
at times
I have to do some things like that when I'm thinking, because if I'm thinking, I think I'm like Joe a lot. I just do a lot in my head, and when I'm doing that, I'm not paying attention to what this looks like. So she's like, "What's wrong? Why?
Yeah.
What's wrong? Are you mad?" No,
Yeah.
I'm thinking. You know?
yeah,
I think also-
that's not vape steam that's coming out of him. It's his brain wheels turning.
With that, I'm learning, because I am an internal processor, that I need to make an effort to let her know things along the way. Because I may be thinking about something for a week, right? And then I finally get around to reporting to her what I'm experiencing. And she's like, what the crap just happened? Like, where did this come from? You know? And I'm like, I don't know.
This ain't new news.
And I
been
realized, like,
thinking
maybe I should have gave her a couple status updates along the way, so that it's not like punch in the face, like life-changing moment. Because, like, I'm just like, so learning to, like, hey,
Wait.
I should give some more information along the way, so I don't just like blow this up in your face.
And I give him permission not to listen all the time. Like, you don't have to listen to everything.
Right, exactly. Sometimes I like to bounce some stuff off him, but if he's in a lot of times too, and I'm putting this rule in as of right now, so you know.
new
Okay.
rules.
A new rule.
Live.
Okay, so when we walk into our bedroom for the night, okay, to
With
go
a
to
knife?
sleep.
She starts doing this, it scares me.
Okay,
Did you say walk into the bedroom with a knife?
no, at night.
Oh, that's
And then she
totally
starts doing
different.
this.
That's why I was like, wait, hold on. Stop, back up.
We start out and we're ready for bed for the night. As soon as you walk past the door, please do not talk to me about reselling. I just want to go to bed. You will keep me up for hours talking about the same thing over and over. What do you think? I'm like, I can't keep my eyes open. Like, honey, what do you think?
Look at this deal.
Yeah. And I'm like,
I'm the same way.
Hey, Anthony, we're gonna need some pastoral counseling here, I think.
so it's like, so now that I'm
I didn't
putting,
say big though. My
that-
wife.
and outside of the room during the day, he can talk about reselling all he wants. But he's already taken our dates and turned them into workcations or datecations.
Hey, you can write it off tax purposes when you do that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
We like to go to the Chinese buffet,
Well,
which is 35 minutes from us. So there's a Goodwill down the block from the Chinese buffet. I can claim some mileage then.
There you go. There you go.
But there are times,
I've
yep.
been taught that to go for lunch.
That's classic.
yeah, we need to decide. There are times where I would just really like to have a date where either I don't end up in the hospital or we're not going thrifting.
Yeah,
Just
I realize
a year.
It's important for us women.
they need connection outside of reselling, and I
Well,
want to do a better job of that.
generally speaking, and this is not everybody. I mean, there are some men who are like this too. This is not specifically a women thing, but men, they tend to have a lot of their love tank, like, especially if you're like a quality time person, right? Like, quality time for women is like, we're women, mostly women. There are men who are like this, but it's attention on just us, like just having this conversation about things other than that. But then for some other people, quality time can look like going grocery shopping together or thrifting together or other things together. And so, like, quality time can look different for other people. And Joe is more of like that companionship. And I'm like, Joe, can we just talk about something else?
She has to tell me. And then I'm like, all right, what do we talk about?
Right, right.
Oh yeah.
This is my
And a
life.
lot of-
What do I say?
Yeah.
And, see, and I know, like, when we're in the truck on the way to thrifting or doing whatever it is, reselling wise, I will literally be in the truck because he's da 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 da, and I don't understand 90% of what he's saying, and he knows this. So I will grab my phone and I'll either play a game or read a book and be like, So I know I do it to him too, but it's like every time I get
And then
near him,
And then I
it's-
catch her up once in a while because I'll be like, what did I just say?
So it is equal, but I don't want to talk 24/7 about reselling. I want to talk about other things. And 90% of the time I have no idea what the other things are that I want to talk about, but
Just not reselling.
to be something other than reselling because he brings it to the bedroom when I'm trying to sleep. We wake up. He's like, honey, look at what I found last night. And he's shoving a phone in my face. And I'm like, I haven't had coffee.
Our therapist always said, if you don't know what to talk about, start with hopes and dreams. Just start there.
Yeah.
And then it usually will go to some, like, you can kind of navigate it through there.
We'll start. She does that a lot. She'll talk about hopes and dreams. So one of her hopes and dreams is to have like an in-home commercial grade kitchen to cook in because we have such a crappy kitchen right now. And it'll start out and it's like with that, and she's like, well, look at this and look at that, and to go, and it's cool and it's pretty. And I'm like, but the only way we're gonna get there
And it turns into reselling again. And I'm like, one of these times he's going to be down here and you guys are going to go live and he's going to have eBay tape over his mouth. Because I'm telling you, I mean, and I don't.
But he's
I'm
still
very
talking about
supportive.
eBay then, right?
Right.
Say eBay across his mouth.
We have good times. And like the kids blurted out last when they were on, he's likes to sing and make up his own songs. But there are times, I am very supportive with him, but there are times I don't want to deal with the reselling. I'm just asking for a little time where it's not reselling related.
There you go.
Hopes and dreams are a peaceful night's sleep.
And that's perfectly understandable. Jessica needs the same thing,
What
So,
else?
yeah.
and she has to tell me.
No, it's I do have to tell you, but sometimes it's like if I'm taking a shower, I don't need you to be like, babe, I was thinking about lighting.
We have
Never
we have
happened before.
we have
When?
a clear
My
shower.
mind doesn't stop.
We have
No,
a
really,
clear shower
honestly, I
curtain
just tell
in our
Joe, I'm like,
bathroom.
hey, like I need a second, and then he'll be like, okay, let me know when you're ready.
Our shower curtain at the moment it's a clear shower curtain. Every once in a while I'll go in the bathroom and I'll hold the phone up to the shower. I'll be like, hey, check this out.
And I'm like, usually I'm washing my hair when he does that. I don't know how he does.
It's like we gotta
He
act
knows.
now. It'll be like a marketplace thing. I'm thinking about buying or want to consult her. So I'm like, I need you to look at it right now because if we don't snap on this, it's gonna be gone.
And I'm like, I don't care what you do, get out of the bathroom. In my face. So, I saw that people were talking that we should do a couples reselling show.
That would kind of be fun.
It would be fun. It would. Destiny has talked about it in the past.
Yeah.
Of starting like a group. I don't know if necessarily a YouTube channel or just like a Facebook group or something, but like a support group for the spouses of a reseller.
That's hilarious.
Well, I mean, because, I am supportive. I've always been supportive since day one. I helped him make the decision if he should, go in the direction that he's going. But there are days that I really just don't want to hear about it. And it's nothing against him, but when it's a constant, for 3 years.
I think we just all have different needs, and we have to figure out how to support each. And sometimes I'm like, sometimes it's just giving me 5 minutes to get off the topic that I was in the middle of, because he'll start talking and I'll look up at him, and I guess I may have a look on my face or something, and he's like, oh, okay, are you not ready for this? And I'm like, can I just finish this real quick? He's like, yeah, sure. And then I make sure that I come back and say, okay, I'm ready. Tell me, kind of thing. And that's worked for us. I tell him, he tells me, because sometimes he's like, I'll be talking in my head a little bit, and then I'll like halfway through the conversation start talking out loud, and he's like, where are we in this conversation? Like I missed like the first half of that. So
Yeah, and that happens here too. And I'm like, oh yeah, the first part of that conversation was in my head. Sorry.
Yep. Yep.
And she has been very sport, because there's a couple of times where we've hit some brick walls in the reselling, and I wasn't advancing as fast as I wanted, and I was like, forget it, man. I'm just gonna take all this stuff to the flea market, get rid of it. I'm gonna go punch a clock somewhere. She's like, no, you're not.
No, you're not. And he's like, yes, I am. I'm so done with it. And I'm like, really?
I'm like, it'd be so much easier when I punch out at 5 o'clock. I don't have to think about it till I punch in the next day, And she's like, no, you're not going to do that. You're not doing that.
Somebody pointed something out in chat.
What's that?
Right there. You just had your mouse over it. Really? Right. Okay, but wait, you go into the bathroom while she's in the shower and the curtain is clear and you show her your phone?
That's why I got the clear shower curtain.
Phone.
They've got little phone cases that you can get to put it in that's waterproof.
We have the.
I actually seen that the shower curtains. I got the clear pouches, so you can put your tablet in there. And I thought about that because I'm like, man, I can take a shower. I can catch up on YouTube videos. I can
really
put a TV in there. Put a small TV, and then anytime that you want her to see something, you just screen share it and you cast it to the screen on the TV in there.
Or you could wait until we're done.
No, it's important right now.
Sometimes it's time sensitive.
Make a decision on your own.
Then I trust you to make all financial decisions while I am in the shower.
Exactly. I agree.
Just do what you got to do.
Y'all are saying y'all forfeit all responsibility while you're in the shower?
As long as we get to do the same thing when you're in the shower.
Exactly.
Much.
But I don't care if you consult me when I'm in the shower.
I mean, if you're bringing a pillow in the shower, I'm all for it.
That's a clear curtain. I just don't know. It's not how it rolls with me.
Awesome. We've had fun, but we really got to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
We do appreciate you coming on. We love to have you on anytime you're available.
Awesome.
You guys are fun.
Thank all of you who have subscribed to our channel. We appreciate it.
I will say you guys have the best chat. You have them their engagement is amazing. I love all these people talking.
Yeah, they're amazing. That's what keeps us getting up every morning to do this.
They're really great.
Absolutely.
Well,
all right. Well, you guys have a great, wonderful day. Again, thank you for coming on. I know you guys, are busy people, and you took the time out. We really appreciate it.
Definitely.
Like I say, you're welcome to come back anytime. Just let me know. Hey, we're available on such and such day.
Yep.
Okay.
Will do. We can have some more central focus, so I don't go everywhere.
I think people like that though. Like they just like seeing you guys be real and unwind.
Awesome. Well, we can do that because I can talk for hours.
Hopefully, we're gonna come over to your chats too.
Awesome. We'll see y'all later. We thank y'all.
Peace.
Much love.
Good day. Peace. That was great. I love having them on the show.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, they're very cool. It's nice to see the wife this time because she wasn't able to make it last time.
Absolutely. And they gave us an extra 40 minutes. That was really
because Joe told me last night, he's like, we can give you an hour. So that's 2 hours.
I'll take 5 minutes of the family flips, whatever they can give, because they give such good information and they're just such awesome people to hang out with. So they can give us 5 minutes, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I think maybe we should get together with them
The couple,
do
yeah.
the couple.
Yeah.
What would you call it? Couple counseling or whatever couple session? I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's just so when I listen to them talk about them, in a lot of ways, it's so me and Destiny, man. I can totally relate.
For sure.
Yeah, that's how me and my wife are as well. I mean, maybe not to the T, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty close.
Just missed the family flips, my man. Welcome to the show. What the heck was I going to say? That's something I wanted to say, but I don't remember now.
It is very chilly in the dungeon today. You need to take that curtain or that green screen and drop it over here.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about doing some basement redesign, kind of cubicling myself off so it's a smaller area to heat with a space heater. It gets chilly down here.
I need to do some redesigning down here too.
Same here.
I gotta redesign my area.
I just need a bigger space, like ASAP.
That's where I'm at. That's exactly where
I just gotta finish fixing up this house so I can sell it, and I'm gonna move a little bit closer to like the city. Because I mean I'm really close to the city now, but I want to move closer and get a bigger like basement that's finished. That way I can kind of expand what I'm doing. Because I don't even really have room to move my chair down here. It's sad.
And as the show's going on just now, my wife was just saying it now. Like I putting maybe my desk down in the basement.
Yeah.
Now I'll be down in the doldrum.
She's pulling an Ashley. She's kicking you out of the upstairs. To make you a cellar dweller like me and Tommy.
Yeah. I was like, well, just put the food by the door and
you know, it puts the lotion on its skin and all that good stuff.
make sure I get my beard
I
lotion.
would never have known or understood that until what, 2 years ago is when you made me watch that movie. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, she hasn't seen that until 2 years ago. Puts the lotion on the skin.
I had no idea what he was talking about. And he would do little quotes like that from the movie. And I'd be like, that doesn't make sense to me. And then
you made in a bottle of Chianti.
Hey, thanks, Reseller King. I appreciate it, man. You gave us a compliment about the show.
Thank you.
Wait, what did I miss that? I'm sorry.
I love this show. You guys need to keep it up. We definitely will keep it up. And maybe one of these days, Reseller King, if you hit up one of us, maybe you can come on as a guest.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I know we for sure have 3 guests coming on next week. Tommy, do you have any guests scheduled?
My schedule Reseller King. No. At the moment, I don't, but I'm going to see what's happening. I know it's a busy time of year for people too. And, we have people.
Yeah.
We have.
Okay, so my buddy, his name is Johnny. He is Rules for Rebels. Right now he is busy, but I have him lined up for right after the holiday season to come on the show.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He says unless we could do, an evening or a weekend.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe we could pre-record something. So if we ever have a day, we could just premiere it or something in place of the show. Yeah. But otherwise, he's real busy weekdays. And we also have a couple of gals too that sell that paparazzi jewelry, and they're going to come on. But them too, they also have regular time jobs during the day.
Yep. And so they aren't able to make it in the morning, but they could do evening or weekend as well. But maybe we can get a pre-recording up with that too.
Because I'm trying to reach out to people that are a little bit on the outside of the reselling entrepreneurial stuff.
Yeah.
To show what people are doing besides just reselling, but all them people are doing it during the day, so it's hard for them to get on the show at night.
Yeah.
I have a couple people lined up too. It's just like their schedules are crazy because of all they do. But Kelly's asking, is there going to be a Thanksgiving Day show? There is. We just scheduled that out. We actually have Chris, Thrift Beast CQ, coming on that day because he lives in Canada where Thanksgiving's not a thing. So I think it's going to be real interesting to kind of, have that dynamic where we're all kind of celebrating the holiday, and he's in a country that doesn't celebrate it because it's an American holiday. So he'll be with us, and I'm looking forward to kind of showing him off to a broader audience, because he does really cool videos. Like I think he's an up and coming channel. We have another up and coming channel coming on Tuesday, which is Reselling Addicts. You guys see him in the chat right now, Jenny and Jeff. They're a really cool couple. I'm looking forward to kind of showing them off too. But I like that so much. Like probably even more so than having like the bigger channels on, is being able to kind of help elevate, channels that might be a little bit smaller than us. I mean, we're all small channels too, in the grand scheme of things. But I like helping everybody kind of elevate themselves and grow within the space.
On Wednesday on my channel, I'm going to be having Dylan Carter from Aura. He is the co-owner of Aura the Repricer. So with all the people that have a lot of questions about repricing and possibly even jumping into Amazon, I figured it'd be a pretty cool guest to have. He can answer anything basically you guys have to throw at him. So if that's something you're looking to possibly add to your business, or even if you just wonder for future reference, get your questions ready, because it's going to be a really, really cool show. Very informative.
Yeah.
And I wanted to answer, how do you say that? Moronic pest? Yes. Yes, I am talking about Rules for Rebels. I actually got to meet him in person 2 years ago at Ecom Chicago, and he is awesome. He helped push when I first decided that I wanted to do a YouTube channel before I even got it started. He actually helped push me and showed me that I should do it and encouraged me to do it. So yeah, he is awesome. Absolutely love him to death. And if you don't know who he is, check him out. Rules for Rebels is his YouTube name, and he's pretty awesome.
Hey, Jenny, don't be nervous. It's super chill. Like, it's literally going to be like we're all just hanging out together talking. So
I would say we probably have one of the most lax YouTube show channels.
And literally the whole goal is just going to be to introduce you and Jeff to everybody on a more personal level. You pretty much chat with everybody in the chat anyway, so they're going to kind of know who you are anyway. But now it's like the goal is to like kind of get them to know you on like a your channel basis more so than just a name in the chat basis. So yeah, it's just going to be chill. We're just going to hang out. We're going to talk. Nate's going to have that magnificent beard going, and
vaping, of course.
Yep.
Kids screaming. Breakfast, wife making breakfast in the background.
Justin, the weight limit for Box in a Bag is 20 pounds.
I took over. Don't know what I'm doing, but I took over.
Tommy, you look so pretty today.
Right? I just went. It's the pixie dust.
You see that? They love the beard, Nate. Jenny and Jeff.
I appreciate it. Sometimes I don't know if I love the beard anymore, but now that y'all love it.
Is it hard to maintain?
What's that?
I was asking Nate if his beard was hard to maintain.
Not really. I mean, just a little of that line tamer, and every time I shower or whatever, I brush it out. Other than that, not really.
Yep.
It's kind of like if you just let your hair grow out and just comb it every once in a while.
For sure. Hey, Denise. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Hope you're feeling good today.
What are you guys up to today?
Well, Ash is off, so I don't know what I'm up to yet, to be honest with you. I got a couple things I need to ship out, which is good. I have one I had to refund because I don't know what I did with it. I think I might have sold it, or Ash's gram might have taken it from my basement. Every time she comes over, she likes to go shopping down here and not tell me what it is, so I can take it off of eBay.
Either my wife does that, or the kids touch my stuff and then
Yep.
I'm like, you gotta tell me, because
Yeah.
I'll put stuff away for Santa.
If you want something, I don't mind giving it to you. Just let me know so I can take it off eBay, so I'm not stuck trying to tell somebody I can't find the item and look like a schmuck. You know.
Knock on wood, haven't had that problem, but
I
you
have.
know what I mean, I don't want that to happen. I try to tell her how important that is, but I think it's
I
more the
usually
kids.
don't go shopping in the inventory unless he has a pile outside that he's already removed, and I get to dig through it and see if there's something that I want, and then the rest of it goes wherever. So
Ash just Indian gave some of the inventory the other day. She gave me some old Navy pants to sell like a year ago, and she wanted them now because she wants to wear them in Disney. They're like shorts.
capris.
No, they're like actual like shorts. Like they're like above the knee shorts.
Okay.
She don't wear shorts too often,
Oh, down there, you definitely want to wear some shorts.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be definitely warm. I don't know if it's just gonna be sweltering like it would in the summertime, but definitely gonna be a little warm.
Oh, Lisa got a storage unit. That's cool. Good luck moving everything in there. CEOs is what I mean by Lisa, because I know we have several Lisas in chat.
Okay.
Chat's not that caught up.
I suppose probably gonna shut down. D's gonna be starting in about 7 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, if you
And,
guys aren't subbed to Flippin' Particles, make sure you go over there and show Dee some love. And if you do go over there, tell her that the Entrepre-Doers sent you over there.
Absolutely. And Jesse's gonna drop a link to her channel for anybody that's not subbed. Flipping.
Thank you. I know her as D,
Not
so
flipping. Flipping. There it is.
there we go.
Okay, that's gonna drop a link. She's
I
cool.
really am like considering trying to talk Ash into some Chinese buffet for lunch.
Well, we got a good one if you want to head over this way.
Dude, I want to. I just don't have the money with Disney, man. Like between like eBay, like sucking right now, and just paying off like a really expensive, like basically all the bells and whistles Disney trip, I'm tapped.
Yeah, she also sells. I almost forgot. She brought up the brownie points. We do have a 3-way tie between Craig, Justin, and Steven. So Monday, we'll figure out something. We'll have a showdown on Monday for them to declare a winner, and then we'll get their brownie points prizes out. I think we're going to restart the brownie points, either run a short term through the first, like a 1 week through the first or something, because I'd like to get it so it cycles on the first. So yeah. Craig, Steven Scroggins, and Justin Jacobs need to be in chat Monday morning.
Yep.
And we'll have something to show down to find the ultimate brownie point winner.
Yep.
So I think with that, we're going to shut her down. I hope everybody has a great weekend, accomplish what you want to accomplish, whether it's business-wise, fun-wise, family-wise. Just have a great weekend and enjoy yourself.
Much love, everybody.
Forgot to
you guys.
Oh.
Me and Tommy are the deuces, guys.
Yeah, the
deuces on y'all.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Bye.